All right, you future best-selling authors out there, get ready. Because this is the deep dive you need to absolutely crush that writing job interview.
You know we're going to get into all the good stuff, right?
We are.
The RoleCatcher Career Guides
Yes.
are seriously packed with, like, insider information.
So much good stuff. We're going to break down those tricky questions they always ask.
Oh, yeah.
Give you some really smart answers.
Smart answer.
Career insights to really blow them away, and even show you how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a secret advantage.
I think a lot of people think, like, you know, the writer's life. They're like, oh, it's so free and easy.
Right.
But it's actually, like, there's this really fascinating balance.
Okay.
You want that freedom, but you also need, like, intense focus.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all like, you know, coffee shop daydreams, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, the career guide does make it sound tempting.
Sure.
The flexibility, the control over what you create.
Right.
Maybe you're working in your PJs.
Yeah, very appealing.
Right.
But it's important to be realistic, too.
Yeah.
The guide also points out that this field is really competitive.
Right.
And self-discipline essential.
Okay.
It's not always going to be glamorous.
Right. You got to have those deadlines, right?
You do.
So before you are out there signing copies of your masterpiece,
Right.
you got to get through that interview.
Yes.
So that's where we come in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's tackle some of those top questions head on.
All right.
All right. First up, can you tell us about your experience as a writer? Sounds simple, but I bet there's more to it than, like, listing every single thing you've ever written.
Absolutely. What's fascinating about this question is they're actually looking beyond your resume. They want to hear, like, your passion for writing. Like, are you committed to this? Even experiences outside traditional publishing, those can totally shape you as a writer.
So how should our listener approach this one? Should they be, like, digging up those poems they wrote in high school?
Well, it's all about showcasing, like, the relevant experience.
Okay.
So think about coursework, internships, if you've got any personal blogs, even like that collection of short stories you're working on.
Okay.
Mention publications, any awards, even from school or like local competitions.
Okay.
Building a solid portfolio is like the foundation.
Right.
And this is your chance to like bring it to life for them.
Okay, got it. But what if they follow up with something like, what kind of writing are you most passionate about?
Okay.
That feels kind of personal for an interview, doesn't it?
It might feel that way, but it's actually a really great opportunity to like connect with the interviewer on a different level.
Okay.
Be genuine.
Yeah.
Be specific. Talk about what genuinely excites you about that genre or style.
Yeah.
Do you love writing dialogue?
Mm-hmm.
Are you fascinated by like historical research?
Okay.
When you share that passion, you're going to stand out.
Okay, I like that, making connection. Okay, next question. How do you approach researching and outlining a writing project? I'm picturing some writers with color-coded note cards, others just like scribbling on napkins.
Right.
Is there a right way to answer this?
That's what's so interesting about this one.
Okay.
There isn't one right way. What they really want to see is if you're organized, can you handle complex projects?
Okay.
You might have this super detailed outlining process or maybe prefer something more like organic.
Right.
Just show them you have a system and that it works for you. Be clear.
So if someone uses a really specific tool or a technique, should they mention that?
Totally. Mentioning tools like Scrivener for writing or Trello for project management shows you're familiar with, like industry standards. And if you have some unique technique, maybe you brainstorm using mind maps or voice recordings.
Good.
Share it. It highlights your individual approach.
Love it. Okay, now for the question I think every writer dreads. How do you handle writer's block?
Ooh.
I think we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Staring at a blank page, feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Every writer experiences those like creative roadblocks, right?
Yeah.
The key is to demonstrate your self-awareness and your resilience. Acknowledge that it happens, it's natural.
Okay.
But really focus on how you overcome it.
So what kind of strategies would impress an interviewer, do you think?
I think taking breaks, engaging in other creative activities, seeking feedback from a writing group, these are all great examples.
Right.
The career guide even suggests attending like workshops or masterclasses.
Oh, nice.
That shows that you're proactive about learning, you're always growing.
Yeah.
Basically, you want to show them you've got a toolkit to navigate these challenges.
Yeah, it's all about having a plan, right?
Exactly.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. The next question is, how do you adapt your writing style for different audiences? I'm guessing this is like super important if you want to work across different genres or formats?
It's essential.
Yeah.
This question is really about assessing your versatility as a writer. They want to see if you're like a one-trick pony or if you can truly tailor your voice and tone to fit the purpose.
So how do you prove that adaptability in an interview setting?
Specific examples.
Okay.
Those are your best friend.
Okay.
Have you written technical documents before?
Uh-huh.
What about blog posts for a younger audience?
Right.
Walk them through how you think.
Okay.
Like, how did you figure out who your target audience was and what changes did you make to your writing to really resonate with them?
Right.
It shows you're not just skilled, but strategic.
Strategy. Makes sense. All right. Next up is your chance to shine a little bit. Can you provide an example of a successful writing project you completed? This feels like, okay, now's the time to brag a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Think of this as like your highlight reel. Don't just list a project, okay? Choose one that really demonstrates all those qualities they're looking for. Maybe it involved a ton of research or you had to overcome like a major challenge.
So what kind of details should they include when they talk about this project?
You want to highlight the specific skills that you used,
Okay.
the challenges you faced, and of course, the positive outcome.
Right.
Did you get like praise from a client or professor?
Okay.
Was it published somewhere reputable?
Okay.
The career guide talks about entering writing competitions. Those are great to share.
Right.
Quantify your success whenever possible.
Right.
Did your blog post get a ton of views or shares?
Well, okay.
Those details make your story so much more compelling.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. Okay. Moving on to a question that feels like maybe a little bit of a trap. How do you ensure that your writing is error-free?
Oh.
I mean, everyone makes mistakes. Right?
Of course. But
Yeah.
this question is really about demonstrating your commitment to producing polished work.
Right.
So you don't want to claim to be perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Right. Right.
But you also don't want to be like, oh, I make tons of mistakes. You need to show you're thorough.
So how do you walk that tightrope? What do you say?
Focus on your process.
Okay.
Describe your multi-layered approach to editing and proofreading.
Right.
Do you use a grammar checker? Do you read your work out loud? Do you get feedback from others?
Right.
Mentioning those specific tools and techniques shows that you're detail-oriented. And remember, the career guide emphasizes strong reading comprehension and critical thinking.
Okay.
Those are really essential for catching those errors and ensuring like that your work is clear.
Okay, so it's all about showcasing your meticulous side.
It is.
Okay. Next question's about staying current. How do you stay up to date with trends in your industry? I imagine that's especially important in the like fast-paced world of publishing.
It's absolutely crucial. The publishing industry is always evolving, so showing that you're committed to ongoing learning. That's key.
Right.
They want to see that you're proactive and engaged.
So how can our listeners showcase that proactive approach? Should they be like name-dropping all the literary journals they subscribe to?
Mentioning specific resources is a great start.
Okay.
Like industry publications, websites, blogs.
Go.
Those all show you're committed. Attending conferences, workshops, or even joining professional organizations.
Okay.
Those show initiative. Even something as simple as following influential writers or publishers on social media.
Okay.
It all adds up.
Yeah.
It paints this picture of a dedicated learner.
Okay, painting the picture. Okay. This next question feels a little bit sensitive. How do you handle constructive feedback on your writing? I think everyone reacts to feedback differently, right? Some people embrace it. Some people find it a little bit more challenging.
Absolutely. And interviewers understand that. What they're really trying to assess is your professionalism and your willingness to grow.
Right.
Are you open to learning?
Okay.
That's what they're looking for.
So what's the best approach here? Should you pretend that you love every single critique you receive?
No, no, no. Focus on your positive attitude toward feedback.
Okay.
Explain that you see it as a valuable tool for improvement
Okay.
and that you are genuinely open to learning from others. Share specific strategies that you use to process and incorporate feedback.
Right.
Maybe you take some time to reflect before revising, or you seek clarification.
Okay.
The key is to demonstrate that you're receptive and you can use that feedback constructively.
Makes sense. Okay, now for a question that might trigger some anxiety. Can you discuss a time when you had to work under tight deadlines? I imagine this is pretty common in the writing world. Right?
Oh, deadlines. They're a reality for writers. So being able to show them that you can manage your time effectively and deliver quality work under pressure, that's essential.
So what kind of example should they choose for this question? Should they tell a story about, like, pulling an all-nighter to finish a term paper?
No, not necessarily. Choose a specific project where you successfully met a challenging deadline.
Okay.
Describe the situation,
Right.
the steps that you took to stay organized,
Okay.
and the positive outcome, of course.
Okay.
Did you prioritize tasks? Did you communicate effectively? Did you utilize any, like, time management techniques?
Yeah.
Highlighting these strategies shows you're professional and that you can thrive in that fast-paced environment.
Right.
You're not afraid of deadlines. You can handle it.
All right. Last question for this part of our deep dive. How do you balance creativity with the needs of the client or organization? This feels relevant for writers working in fields like marketing or advertising, where you have to really stick to a brand's voice, right?
Absolutely. This one explores your ability to kind of navigate those sometimes conflicting demands of, like, creative expression
Right.
and client expectations.
Right.
Can you find that balance?
So how can our listener demonstrate that they can walk that line?
Focus on your communication
Okay.
and your collaboration skills.
All right.
Explain how you actively listen to client briefs.
Right.
Ask clarifying questions.
Right.
And make sure you really understand their vision. Share some examples of projects
Right.
where you incorporated client feedback while still maintaining your creative edge. Maybe you presented different options, each with a slightly different creative approach.
Okay.
Or maybe you found a unique solution that satisfied both the creative and the practical requirements.
Okay, that's a great way to frame it. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Our listeners probably feeling a lot more prepared to handle those questions.
I hope so.
But I have a feeling there's something else that can give them an extra edge.
Right. Oh.
Something to really, like, tailor their answers and make them shine.
You're right. We've talked about all the knowledge and the skills you need to excel in an interview, but there's this, like, secret weapon
Yes.
that can really take your preparation to the next level. RoleCatcher's AI-powered platform.
Yes. We touched on this earlier, but
Okay.
I'm so eager to, like, dive deeper into how RoleCatcher can actually make a difference.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to those, like, really nerve-wracking interview answers.
Imagine having, like, a virtual coach
Okay.
analyzing your responses, giving you this tailored feedback, and
Okay.
helping you craft answers that truly resonate.
Right.
That's exactly what RoleCatcher's AI does. It's like having a personal writing mentor in your pocket.
Okay, that sounds amazing, but how does it actually work?
It's incredibly user-friendly. You just input your practice answers to those common interview questions,
Okay.
and RoleCatcher's AI engine gets to work.
Uh-huh.
It looks at your responses for clarity,
Okay.
conciseness,
Okay.
relevance, even tone,
Yeah.
and then it provides personalized feedback,
Nice.
suggesting ways to, like, improve your wording,
Okay.
strengthen your examples, and just ensure that your answers really align with those job requirements.
Wow, it's like having a secret weapon
It is.
to craft the perfect response.
It can be.
But I'm guessing there's even more to RoleCatcher than just interview prep right now.
Of course. Their platform offers this whole suite of tools to support your job search.
Okay.
They have an AI CV resume builder
Okay.
that helps you create a standout resume tailored to each specific application. And their career guides
Well.
provide super valuable insights into different industries and career paths,
Right.
helping you explore your options
Right.
and make really informed decisions.
It sounds like a one-stop shop for everything you need.
It can be.
Forget that dream writing job.
Exactly. From creating that compelling resume to acing those interviews,
Right.
RoleCatcher empowers you to navigate the job market with confidence.
Okay.
And the best part,
What's that?
you can get started for free.
The free is always good.
Always good.
Well, we've covered a ton in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've dissected those tricky interview questions,
Yes.
explored strategies for crafting winning answers, and even uncovered the power of RoleCatcher's AI-driven platform. But hold on tight, because we're not done yet. In part 2, we're going to dive even deeper into those interview questions.
All right.
We're going to be exploring even more nuanced approaches
Okay.
and tackling those really tricky follow-ups.
Okay.
So see you soon.
See you soon. Welcome back to our deep dive into landing your dream writing job.
We're picking up right where we left off.
We are dissecting those, like, really crucial interview questions
Yes.
and giving you the insights you need to just craft those winning answers.
Yes. We're getting into the minds of those interviewers, figuring out what are they really looking for.
Exactly.
We want to help you present yourself as that writer they cannot live without.
The one they have to hire.
Exactly.
All right, so let's just jump again.
Good.
We left off talking about balancing creativity with client needs. So let's imagine they follow up with, tell me about a time you had to compromise on your creative vision to meet a client's requirements. Now, this one might feel a little tricky,
Okay.
but it's a great opportunity to show, like, your professionalism
Right.
and your adaptability.
Okay, so how should our listener kind of navigate this potential minefield? It's like they're asking you to, like, admit defeat.
Not at all. Not at all. The key here is to reframe compromise as collaboration.
Okay.
Choose an example where you successfully incorporated client feedback.
Yeah.
But you still achieved a positive outcome. Maybe you had to adjust like your writing style or your tone,
Right.
or maybe you even had to make some structural changes to the piece.
Okay.
Focus on the communication and problem-solving skills that you used to reach a solution that made both you and the client happy.
Great advice. It's all about showing you can be flexible
Right.
and work effectively as part of a team.
Right.
Okay, next question. What are your strengths and weaknesses as a writer?
Ooh, the dreaded strengths and weaknesses question.
I know. I feel like everyone hates this one.
It can feel really daunting, but remember, this is your chance to show your self-awareness
Right.
and a desire for growth.
Okay.
When you're talking about your strengths, be specific.
Yep.
Provide examples. Don't just say, like, oh, I'm a good writer. Instead, highlight those particular skills, like your ability to craft, like compelling narratives, or to conduct thorough research, or even to adapt your writing style to different audiences. And always tie your strengths back to what they're asking for in the job.
Okay. That makes sense for strengths, but what about weaknesses? I feel like nobody wants to, like, air their dirty laundry in an interview.
Of course not. But choosing a weakness doesn't mean you have to highlight some, like, fatal flaw.
Right.
Think about an area where you're actively working to improve. Maybe you're prone to procrastination,
Okay.
or perhaps you struggle with self-editing. The key is to frame it positively, showing that you're aware of the challenge and you're taking steps to address it. Maybe you're using time management techniques, or you're getting feedback from a writing group.
Right.
This shows a commitment to continuous learning and that desire to become even stronger.
Yeah, that's a great way to spin it, right? Kind of potential negative into a positive.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, how do you ensure that your writing is engaging and captivating for the reader? This feels like, okay, now we're getting to the heart of it.
I love this question.
Right. It's like, what's your secret sauce?
This is where you can really, like, show your passion and your knowledge of the craft.
Okay.
Talk about the techniques you use to draw readers in.
Okay.
Whether it's like crafting compelling characters, building suspense, using vivid imagery. Think about the books or articles that you find captivating.
Yeah.
What makes them so effective?
So they should be prepared to, like, get a little nerdy about writing, talk about their favorite literary devices.
Absolutely. This is where you can really, like, geek out and show the interviewer that you're not just a writer. You're, like, a student of the craft.
Okay.
Mention specific authors or works that have inspired you, or discuss those particular techniques that you just, like, admire. When you share that enthusiasm, you become so much more memorable as a candidate.
Okay. All right, let's tackle another one. Describe your writing process from start to finish. This feels like it could easily turn into a rambling mess if you're not careful.
It's definitely a question that requires, like, structure and clarity.
Right.
You want to think of it as an opportunity to kind of guide the interviewer through your creative journey.
Okay.
Highlight your organizational skills and your attention to detail.
Right.
You could break down your process into, like, key stages.
Okay.
Brainstorming, researching, outlining, drafting, revising, editing.
Right.
Mention any specific tools or techniques you use at each stage.
Yeah.
Do you use mind maps for brainstorming?
Okay.
Do you have a system for, like, organizing your research?
Okay, so it's all about demonstrating that you have a methodical approach.
It is.
Even if your creative process sometimes feels a little chaotic.
Exactly. Even if you're more of an intuitive writer,
Right.
you still have a process.
Right.
Articulating that process shows them that you're thoughtful and deliberate.
All right. Here's one that I think might throw some people off. What are your salary expectations? I know this can be a really awkward topic to discuss, especially in, like, a creative field where it feels like, compensation can vary so widely.
Totally. But this question is less about getting a specific number from you
Okay.
and more about assessing, like, do you understand the industry?
Right.
Do you know what you're worth?
Yeah.
What are your expectations?
So how should they approach this potentially uncomfortable conversation?
Well, first of all, do your research.
Okay.
Use resources like, of course, RoleCatcher,
Right.
or look at industry salary surveys to get a sense of what's typical
Okay.
for writers with your level of experience
Okay.
and in your desired location.
Right.
Be prepared to provide a range rather than a specific number. You can also frame your answer in terms of your value.
Okay.
Highlight those skills and accomplishments
Right.
that justify your desired compensation.
Okay.
And remember, it's perfectly okay to say that you're open to negotiation
Right.
and that you're more interested in finding the right fit
Okay.
than just chasing the highest possible salary.
Okay.
Sometimes the fit is more important.
That's good advice.
No.
Okay. Let's move on to a question that's maybe a little bit more philosophical.
Mm-hmm.
What are your long-term career goals as a writer?
Ooh, long term.
I imagine some people might have like very specific aspirations,
Right.
while others might be a little bit more open-ended.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is your chance to demonstrate your ambition, your vision for the future. It's also an opportunity to show the interviewer
Okay.
that you're thinking beyond just this one job.
Right.
Are you thinking about your long-term growth within the company or maybe even the industry?
Okay, so should they be prepared to like map out a 5-year plan?
Not necessarily. While it's great to have some specific goals,
Okay.
it's also fine to just express a more general direction. Maybe you aspire to become a published author. Maybe you're interested in exploring different writing genres or formats.
Okay.
You could even mention your desire to take on leadership roles
Okay.
within a writing team or department.
Right.
The key is to show them that you're motivated,
Right.
that you're ambitious,
Uh-huh.
and that you're really thinking about how this job fits into your overall career trajectory.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up this question marathon with one that's focused on teamwork. Tell me about a time you collaborated with other writers on a project.
Ooh, collaboration.
Right. I mean, that's so crucial in the writing world, wouldn't you say?
It's essential. Most writing projects
Mhm.
involve some level of collaboration,
Right.
whether it's working with editors, fellow writers, or even clients. This question assesses your communication skills,
Right.
your interpersonal skills,
Right.
and of course, your ability to contribute effectively as part of a team.
So what kind of example should our listener choose for this one? Should they talk about group projects from college, or is that too far back?
I think about a project where you really had to work closely with others to achieve that common goal.
Right.
It could be from college, it could be a volunteer experience, it could even be a personal project
Right.
where you collaborated with friends. Describe your role in the project,
Okay.
the challenges that you faced,
Oh.
and then, of course, that positive outcome of the collaboration.
Okay.
Did you delegate tasks effectively?
Okay.
Did you communicate openly and respectfully? Or maybe you found creative solutions to any disagreements. Highlighting these skills really demonstrates your ability to work with others.
Right.
You're showing them that you can contribute to a successful team dynamic.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground with these interview questions. I'm feeling exhausted just thinking about answering all of them.
I know, it can be a lot.
Wouldn't you say there's something else that can really help, boost our listeners' confidence?
Absolutely.
And really give them a leg up?
I think RoleCatcher's AI can be invaluable
Right.
for practicing and refining your answers.
Okay.
Imagine having a tool
Okay.
that can analyze what you're saying
Right.
and give you specific feedback on how to tailor those answers for different job roles.
Okay. That sounds incredible, but I think our listener might need a little more convincing. How exactly does RoleCatcher's AI help you, craft the perfect answer for, say, a content writer versus a novelist?
It's all about understanding the nuances of each role, right?
Right.
For a content writer, RoleCatcher might suggest emphasizing your SEO knowledge, your ability to write concise and engaging web copy, or
Right.
maybe your experience with the different content management systems.
Makes sense. So it's tailoring your response
Yes.
to match the specific skills they're looking for.
Exactly.
But what about a novelist? Would RoleCatcher be able to, give feedback on something as creative and subjective as storytelling?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's AI
Okay.
can look at things like the clarity of your narrative,
Lovely.
the development of your characters, even the emotional impact of your writing.
Wow.
It might suggest ways to strengthen your story arc
Okay.
or create more compelling dialogue or
Yeah.
even fine-tune your author bio to
Right.
resonate with that specific audience.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's like having that personalized writing coach in your pocket.
It can be.
But what if someone's, like, feeling a little rusty on those interview skills in general? Can RoleCatcher help with that too?
Totally. RoleCatcher's AI
Right.
can also provide feedback on your overall interview performance.
Okay.
It can analyze video recordings for things like, your body language, your eye contact. Right.
Even the tone of your voice?
Okay, that's a game changer. It's like having like a virtual mock interview
It is.
with personalized feedback. I wish I had this tool when I was starting out.
Me too.
Me too.
It's an incredible resource
Yeah.
for writers at all levels.
Yeah.
And remember, practicing your answers.
Right.
And getting feedback.
Yes.
That's essential for building confidence and feeling prepared.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive.
We have.
Everything from tackling those tricky follow-up questions to uncovering the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
Yes.
But we are not done yet.
We're not.
In our final part, we're going to delve into those career insights from the RoleCatcher guides.
Okay.
We're going to give you a glimpse into the writer's world,
Right.
explore those different career stages
Yes.
to help you really envision your path to success.
Your path to success. We'll be back soon for that final part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to our final part of your personalized deep dive, the grand finale.
This is it. This is where we give you that big, wide view of the writer's world and show you exactly how you can make your own path to success. We've gone over those tough interview questions. We've even looked at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge. And now we're going to really unpack those career insights from RoleCatcher's guides.
I think what's really exciting about this part is that we're going beyond just getting the job. We're
Right.
talking about understanding the industry,
Right.
The different career stages and how you can keep growing as a writer. It's all about building like a really fulfilling career, not just getting your foot in the door.
Yeah, I love that. So let's paint a picture of what the writer's life is actually like, using those details from the career guide.
Okay.
We talked about the flexibility, the creative freedom,
Right.
but what about day-to-day? Like, what does a writer actually do all day?
Well, like we said, the flexibility is huge.
Okay.
A lot of writers, especially those working on, books, they enjoy setting their own hours.
Yeah.
They work from wherever they're inspired.
Okay.
But the career guide also stresses how important self-discipline is
Right.
and time management.
Yeah.
Writers often have tons of projects at once,
Yeah.
deadlines, client demands,
Yeah, it sounds like you have to be organized.
super organized.
So I guess this means it's not all like lounging around in coffee shops waiting for inspiration to hit.
No, not exactly. I mean, those moments are important,
Okay.
but a successful writer also needs to be able to just sit down,
Right.
put in the work,
Right.
even when they aren't feeling super inspired.
Right. Right.
Even best-selling authors get writer's block
Oh.
and deadlines.
Right. Everyone has deadlines.
It does what?
That's a good reality check.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about the career path. The career guide breaks down a writer's journey into different stages, right?
It does.
Can you walk our listeners through those stages, kind of give them an idea of what they could be aiming for?
Yeah, absolutely. So RoleCatcher outlines 4 main stages.
Right.
Entry level, junior writer, mid-level writer, and then senior writer.
Okay.
Each stage, of course, comes with more responsibilities,
Right.
but also more opportunities for growth.
Okay, cool. Let's start with entry level. What kinds of things would someone at that level be doing?
Okay, so entry level is really about building that foundation,
Right.
getting experience.
Right.
You might be helping out more senior writers with research,
Okay.
maybe drafting some blog posts or articles,
Okay.
maybe even doing some proofreading and editing.
Right.
It's about absorbing as much as you can
Okay.
and really developing your skills.
Got it. So you're learning the ropes and building that portfolio.
Exactly.
What about the next step up, junior writer?
So as a junior writer, you're starting to take on more independent tasks.
Okay.
You might be writing website copy, marketing materials,
Uh-huh.
maybe even contributing to longer projects like
Yeah.
books or reports.
So I guess the idea is to get your work out there,
Yes,
show people you're reliable and skilled.
it is.
Okay, what about after that? Mid-level.
All right, so mid-level,
You're moving on up.
this is where you really start to develop your own voice,
Okay.
your style. You're taking on those more creative, more challenging projects.
Right.
You might be leading smaller writing teams,
Okay.
maybe mentoring junior writers,
Okay.
or even pitching your own book ideas. The career guide really highlights how important it is to build your network at this stage.
Okay, that makes sense.
Attend conferences, join professional organizations.
Right. Get yourself out there.
Exactly. Connect with other writers and people in the industry.
Yeah, networking is key.
It is.
Okay, let's talk about that top-level senior writer.
The pinnacle.
What does it take to get there?
You know, becoming a senior writer is really the culmination of, like, years of experience.
Okay.
Hard work,
Right.
a proven track record.
You got to have the receipts.
You do. At this level, you're a master. You're leading major projects, entering teams, shaping the direction of a publication's content.
Right.
You might even be a published author with, like, a devoted following.
Right.
The career guide emphasizes how important it is to really build and maintain that strong professional reputation.
Great.
You know, consistently deliver amazing work.
Right.
Be an active part of the writing community.
Okay.
It's about being respected in the field.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
It really shows you that if you're dedicated and passionate about writing, you can really achieve amazing things.
You can.
But let's be real for a second.
Okay.
The career guide also talks about some of the challenges of a writer's life, right?
He does.
We talked about self-discipline, the competitive side of things.
Right.
But what are some other hurdles writers might face?
Well, you know, it's not always easy.
Right.
The career guide is very honest about some of the downsides.
Oh,
You know, sometimes income can be unpredictable,
Right, especially for freelancers.
especially freelance.
Yeah, okay.
There's always that pressure to deliver high-quality work, and sometimes you have to deal with rejection,
Right.
criticism. It can take a toll. So it's really important to go into this field with realistic expectations
Right.
and a thick skin.
Yeah, I think that's so important. It's easy to get swept up in, like, the romantic idea of being a writer.
It is.
But you have to understand the challenges, too.
Yes.
And be ready to face them head on. But wouldn't you say that, like, even with all that, there's something really rewarding about a writing career?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, for people who really love to write,
Yeah.
there's nothing like seeing your words come to life.
Yeah.
Whether it's a published book, a great article,
Yeah.
even like well-written website copy,
Yeah.
knowing that your words are like informing people,
Yeah.
entertaining them, maybe even inspiring them.
Right.
It's a feeling that's hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree. The Career Guide does offer some great advice for aspiring writers.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about building your portfolio, networking.
Right.
What are some other things they highlight?
They really stress the importance of never stopping learning and professional development.
Right, so it's not just about the degree.
No, it's ongoing.
Okay.
You know, attend workshops, take online courses, join a writing group,
Okay.
read a lot in your genre. These are all crucial for honing those skills and staying ahead of the game. The writing world's always changing.
Yeah, it's evolving.
So a good writer's always learning.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that even after you get that dream job, the learning doesn't stop.
It never stops.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive. I have to say, I'm feeling really inspired.
Me too.
We've covered so much, from those interview questions to really exploring the writer's world and all the possibilities out there.
Yeah, it's exciting.
But before we say goodbye, I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
Okay.
Something to really think about as they start their writing journey.
Remember, the world needs your voice, your
Okay.
perspective, your stories, your ideas.
Yeah.
Those are important.
Right.
Don't be afraid to share them. Go out there, write from your heart,
Right.
and never stop learning and growing.
Beautifully said. And remember, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
Yes.
From writing that awesome resume to acing those interviews to navigating this exciting, sometimes challenging world of writing.
It's a journey.
All right, so go forth and write your next chapter, both literally and professionally.
I love that.
And hey, when you land that dream job and publish that bestseller,
Oh, yeah.
don't forget who helped you get there. We expect a signed copy. Until next time, happy writing.